asked him what the options were, and he said, well, you can not build a bridge.
Right.
So, but, you know, fortunately, I think hopefully we can keep it to that 50,000, and once we get out of the water, you know what you're dealing with. So it's a lot less unknowns once you're working in the air, so.
Totally approved. Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye. Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-119. Resolution approving pay estimate number 6 from Gottfriedson Smith Construction Company of Ida Grove, Iowa, in the amount of $299,710.11 for the Sumner Avenue Bridge Replacement Project.
The 300,000, the crew has been keeping busy, but obviously the footing issues have kept them off the critical path of what they need to get completed to keep the bridge moving forward on the time frame. A lot of what they've worked on is just random odds and ends that, you know, false work, things like that really need to be completed after this pier is done, but just to keep them busy while they're here. So they've seen, you'll see increases in those areas, but as far as pier work, we're still stuck with Pier 4. And they can't do the abutment, the east abutment, until Pier 4 is completed, because the east abutment would actually be in their way for completing Pier 4 if they did it at this point. So, the comment the engineer made was, if you were looking 4 or 5 weeks down the road, then yeah, you just start working on the abutment and you deal with the headache of having it in your way. But he said, if there's a good chance that we can get this done in a week, then you don't want to delay yourself a week on the abutment because of that work. So fingers crossed for spring. Hopefully things get.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call vote.
Scholl?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-120. Resolution approving the City of Humboldt credit card policy.
This resolution will add Demi as the new library director and as an eligible employee for the city credit card. She was appointed by the library board to the director position. She had a little thank you, I guess, towards the last Friday. Fall frenzy, thank you. So, or welcome at the library. So.
So this isn't anything out of the ordinary.
Just adding her to
It
it.
takes
Just-
Sarah off and
Yeah,
puts Demi
puts you-
on.
Okay,
Yep.
because actually you three plus the
Plus the library
library
director.
director have use of the card. Okay.
They mainly need it for purchasing books and things online, where they won't direct bill us, Amazon, places like that.
Sure.
Need a credit card instead of a direct bill of some kind.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call vote.
Rusher?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-121. A resolution amending Section 3 of the City of Humboldt's personnel policy concerning pay for employee transfers and promotions. Aaron, you can tell them about this.
Okay. So.
It's a little more interesting.
Just run through this and then answer questions that you guys have. This change will make it standard policy for all employees upon promotion will receive a probationary year at. This change will make it standard policy that all employees upon promotion will receive a probationary year at 90% and full pay thereafter, except in the case that they're still in the first 3-year probationary period. The 3-year probationary period is the 80, 86, 92% periods.
But promotion also counts transfers.
No, the transfers.
Okay.
The transfers covered a little bit later.
All right, okay.
Okay, so you got the 80, 86, and 90 is normal. 92 is normal for all employees that come on with the city. So somebody gets a promotion, they would naturally go back to that 80 under the current policy. However, that creates a situation where you have employees who are actually making less by getting a promotion than if they would have just stayed in their current position. Many times those positions are also exempt, which means that they don't get overtime, which is even worse. It's that situation. So to try and find a way that honored the fact that there's been a lot of individuals who went before who've had the 80% decrease when they took a promotion, and then, but also to find a solution so that we're not penalizing individuals and putting them in a worse situation than where they're at in the current base wage. That's why I proposed the 90% amount for promotions.
Part of that becomes right now because of so many people retiring, and new hires and transfers move in, promotions and stuff, so it's become a bigger issue right now than it has been previously anyway.
And then on top of that, the other issue is transfers. Currently, there's been, the personnel policy is silent on all of this. It doesn't speak to, the promotions, it doesn't speak to anything as far as the wages for individuals in these situations. So the transfer issue came up, trying to figure out, well, should that person, when they switch departments, go to 80% or should they be at 100%? And just to make it clear, to put it in the personnel policy so that all employees know what they would be at, I would like to have the language read that it's 100% for all transfers. So equivalent positions will all be 100% transfers of base wage, with the exception if they're still in that probationary period, then they would carry that probationary period forward to the new position. So
If they make a transfer and they're at 82%, they stay at 82%.
yes.
If they've been there I've always thought that if we have an employee that's been here 4 years and he's fully vested in the city of Humboldt and he transfers, he should not have to take a dock and pay. So this keeps everything at 100%, or whatever level they're at.
Well, the one thing Aaron and I talked about though is that, let's just say for instance that an employee goes street to sanitation or vice versa. And we talked about this some because that person's still on a learning curve though for a short time.
Mhm.
So is it fair to put them at 100% when they're gonna take a little bit of time, maybe only 6 months or something, before, we talked about that. And should there be a probationary period, just because we're teaching them to do a new job, so we're not getting 100% out right away anyway. Should we have a 5 or 10% deduction for 90 days or 180 days or something, and then bring them on for more than 100%? And that was one thing we discussed because, it is kind of a new employee, even though they've worked for the city, it is a new department, it is new to them and stuff anyway, so there is some learning curve there on that, but that's just one of the things we did talk about, if we prefer to go that way anyway.
Again, that's the reason this is all coming up, is just,
Right.
I'd like to.
But there's no
get the
clear
council's-
definition of it.
Yeah, I'd like to get the council's wishes so we can have that embedded in the personnel policy.
I
Everybody knows
think
right
even if you're 100% invested, say you've been here 8 years and you're getting 100%, and you want to make a move from one department to the other, I agree that you still probably need a 6-month. You need an assessment in 6 months, to see how you're doing your job. If you're picking up the plowing snow, if you're picking up, whatever needs to be going on. But I think if you're fully invested in the city of Humboldt, I hate to dock our employees for being loyal employees. And so I think it's clear. I think
It wasn't clear before, we had nothing. That was the problem.
Exactly.
It did keep from jumping around a little bit too, for the fact that,
Right.
they're trying to hire someone, when that person decides to jump, so
Right.
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit harder anyway, so.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's still, obviously there's still some room for discretion, and it doesn't preclude the council, or preclude a situation where you forego the 80% and go straight to the 100% for highly qualified. That language is still in there. There's still some leeway, but it sets a good guideline that everybody understands where everybody's going to be at. If they're contemplating a transfer, if they see an opening, they know where they're going to be at if they do apply for that transfer position. I hate to make things overly prescriptive, but sometimes, especially when you're talking about pay, it's important that everybody actually understand where they're at. And, with all the turnover that we've had, I mean, you look at the vast majority of the city positions, the full street department, I mean, it's a significant amount. Just in the 4 years I've been here, the amount of personnel that's turned over to retirements, so.
I would make the motion.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Davis,
Aye.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater,
Aye.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye. That being the last of our regular scheduled items, Aaron?
Just a few things. I know that there's been some frustration with the road work and roadway project. You know, I've heard it from several council members. The mayor talked to me. I've had several people come in and talk to me in the city hall here. I spoke with the engineer today. He's gonna work with Blacktop Service to try and figure out, you know, ways that we can get the extra rocks swept up, get the concrete contractor back in here. I expressed a lot of frustration on that. There's no excuse. I told him, I said, it's a little embarrassing when I say it's because of bad weather, and then, you know,
Months ago.
and now we're in a situation where we've had some really beautiful weather. Could have got a lot done. And
I was thinking about this after I stopped in this morning. Is the general contractor and the subcontractor communicating? Do we know if they're communicating?
The only reason, and I'll just speak for Aaron over there, is Aaron says that our engineer can't get a hold of even where they're at. He doesn't even know where they're at right now.
Previously, they were on a job that he was overseeing
Yeah.
with INS, but
Since they've left that job.
they've left that job, and honestly, the coordination needs to go through the general contractor, and the general contractor on the job is Blacktop, and so hopefully, you know, with stress, you know, Blacktop's got to get on them. You know, like I said, I've got a lot of respect for Health. I think they do a great job, but we need to get them in here. And I've heard the complaints, I've heard the concerns, and it's unfortunate because, you know, we've faced this many times with the city, that when you're locked in with a contractor, you know, you're just kind of in bed there, and you got to figure out a way to get through it. It's a very difficult sort of dance that you do with them, and really the only avenue that you have is liquidated damages, and I don't, anyone on the council wants to try and proceed with liquidated damages, but, you know.
No, part of the problem here, and Aaron and I talked about this afternoon, you know, we had an out-of-town contractor on the Sumner Avenue sidewalk project, who we chewed ass on a daily basis. Any mistake he made, the engineer made him correct it immediately. We're using a local contractor here, we have absolutely no weight whatsoever with it. You know, nothing against Blacktop Service, but this has fallen through the cracks, into the water, lousy.
It's an
lousy job.
embarrassment. It's just embarrassing.
They should be ashamed,
Yep.
is what they should be. You know, I walked, when my sister was home, I walked her dog just 2 nights ago around John Brown Park. Not only is it hard to get around there, but the guy saw me coming and purposely come out of his house. I'm not sure what word I would want to use on that, but to describe his pleasure on his yard being tore up, and that every time I tell him that I've seen him several times, that they're coming next week, because that's what Aaron was informed, they're coming next week. Well, here it is. This will now be, I believe, the 6th week that we're going into, that we've been told they're coming. Now we're not even told they're coming anymore. That's even off the board.
Yeah.
So I'm embarrassed to walk around. I don't even want to tell people. I was just, you know, what do you say?
The only thing we know is coming to snow pretty soon.
That's what we know for sure, Darrell. And we have a mess. You know, like Aaron
Yeah.
said today, had they known they weren't coming back, I wish they would not have torn up
Yeah.
the parts, because
Yep.
now we have a mess that we can't seem to get fixed. You know, I don't see any way they're gonna get what they've get torn up fixed in time before it freezes or it gets snow. And then we're back to issues with more people that, you know, why do you take care of your sidewalk that you have no ends on? You know, so I mean, how do you get to it? Should you plow a path around to get off the street on your sidewalk? Don't plow it at all, do you?
Exactly.
You know, and in a park that's, I would say, kind of a highlight of our city, you know, every corner, you know,
Yeah.
is the people
You got
like to go up and look
quite
at
a few
that.
little kids in
Yeah.
south part of town walk to school
Yeah.
every morning at 7:30. I pass them on the road, and they're having to go around
Yeah.
the construction signs and the dirt and the piled up crap, and
Soon we'll be walking in
and
the
then
street.
soon it'll be full of snow, and it's a mess, an absolute mess. And I don't know what we can do about it, but it's got to get,
Well,
somebody's got to get it resolved.
I've got confidence that the street portions, you know, will work with Blacktop, and
Right.
I'm sure the street portions will be taken care of. But, you know, as far as, I guess, my comment to the engineer and is that, at this point, it's the same thing I say with IPT. If it's your subcontractor, it's not our problem. You make it happen. You get it done. We can't be responsible for subs, and if subs aren't performing, then, you
But they,
gotta.
they also know we will never penalize them, so do we really have any teeth on this? You can yell at them all you want, but we don't have any teeth in this. None. Because, we've ordered them in one pack, we're not gonna take it away in another, so, that I can see anyway, so what, we can complain and bellyache, but really, long apart and do anything about this, that I can see. And they know that. So, they're gonna ignore us as long as they can, because they can, in reality. So, that's the bottom line. Let's talk about gravel on Fifth Street and some of the other streets, how bad it is.
Just the only thing I'd say is that, the idea is to get all the gravel out of the gutters, get that taken care of. There's a little bit of a weird washboarding thing that's going on Fifth Street. I talked to the engineer about that. He said that he had not really witnessed that before either.
I haven't
So-
seen that or not, it's a ripple, especially, you can see it at, Fifth Street and Sixth Avenue, it's Fourth Avenue and.
Yeah,
down there and stuff.
there's more than just one street.
Yeah, it's.
I've never seen it before.
Even Ninth is like that, around on, deal down there, so it's bad to drive on it and stuff, and you can feel it in your tires, it's.
And I've had people complain about it.
So-
Want to know what's going on. I said, yeah.
And the other problem here that comes up, and I don't know if you've any bad calls or people come to your place like I have. People that live on Fifth, literally for the last month, can't have their windows open at night, can't go outside, they can't sit on their decks because it is a filthy mess, and the dust hangs in the air so bad that they can't hang clothes out, and it's got kind of old. Well, here we are, finally, when we're gonna try and clean the mess up, now we're talking about we have problems there, and we're gonna start over with the same thing again. And those people are not gonna be happy, and I don't know, I guess after looking at the airport, if a slurry code is a way to go on saving streets and stuff, I guess I don't know why we put the mess down. We put the mess down anyway, and that's,
Yeah, I thought I lived on a blacktop, not a gravel road.
yeah, you live on a gravel road, and it's a mess. You can see it all over town with the dust in the air, and like I said, especially the people that live along Fifth would not be happy with the cars roaring up and down there, the mess and everything, and we agreed to never do it again on Main Street. It was a one-time deal, because those people didn't like it. And now we're doing it